Cristopher Marlowe was born in Canterbury in 1564, the same year of William Shakespeare. He soon moved to London, where he died when he was only 29. And it's astonishing to find out how many works and variety of works he managed to publish in so short a life. He surely also led a kind of distant life. He was often in duel with the people, and he even went to prison at least twice. He was a man fascinated by extremes. He was very ambitious. And we can say that Marlowe's works in some way move away from the didactic approach that the medieval morality plays had. In fact, his characters are not characterized by virtues or vices anymore, but they are full of passion and full of faults. They are men. His plays, so in some way, can be said as they embody the true spirit of Renaissance, in the sense that man acquires the center of the scene and God, in some way, moves away. Some of the most important themes that we can find in his works are, for example, the thirst for power. The thirst for power can be obtained through at least three different ways. For example, political greatness, or an unlimited knowledge, or even an immense wealth. Another characteristic is that man tries to overcome any human limitless. There's always a rebellion against the restrictions of the institutions. There is also an unlimited ambition. There is no moral constriction in his works. At the end, we also find that the hero's solitude when he finds out the impossibility to obtain unlimited power. And last of all, we find a kind of ideal of beauty. Together with the themes, we may point out at least three different features in his works, where we find his characters that in some way are always proud and rebel against all human limitations. He, from a formal point of view, improved the blank verse. He varied the stresses in the line, giving it a new rhythm, and also gave form and unity to drama. In other words, he follows the characteristic, the evolution of man's life. Marlowe's reputation as a dramatist rests mainly on 5 plays: Tamburlaine, Dr. Faustus, The Jew of Malta, Edward II, and Dido, Queen of Carthage. These plays, they appear, we can say, the different characteristics that are in the Renaissance period. We find a new learning, we find a new freedom, we find a new enterprise. So the old restrictions of the church and the limitations on knowledge that this meant have been completely destroyed. Because the world is opening up, there are new relationships with other countries. Ships from the harbour of London are moving to and fro other countries. And so the contact with the rest of the world has given new life to literary production. Above all, we can say that in his plays, we find the spirit of human freedom. We find the limitless of human power. And as we said, a new enterprise that goes also on the economic level. For example, we can say that Tamburlaine, for example, can represent the great conqueror, the embodiment of the tyrannical power. Barabbas in the Jew of Malta stands for the monetary power, economic side that is important in this new life. And Faustus, that is in search of power, a power which supreme knowledge can only give, according to him. There are two plays that we can say are directly concerned with God, Tamburlaine and Dr. Faustus. These are the works, surely, of this Elizabethan atheist. Not necessarily in the sense that he rejected the existence of God, but he surely rejected the churches and its orthodox belief. Now, regarding Faustus, as we know, is a learned man. After he has mastered all arts and sciences, finds that there's nothing really worth to study. So he turns to the supernatural. Let's not forget that magic in the present age and that age acquires a very important role in the society. And so through Mephistopheles, he concludes a bargain with Lucifer. 24 years of absolute power and pleasure in exchange for his soul. Naturally, Faustus makes the most of this time. He even brings back the glorious times of ancient Greece and even manages to find a time to wed Helen of Troy. Remarkable, as we all know, is his final speech when waiting for the devil to carry him to hell. He desperately tries to gain time, but he now has to pay his debt. Now he has to follow the devil back to hell. And the moment in which midnight strikes, we see all the desperation and the end of all the hopes and dreams of this ambitious man. The soliloquy, in some way, in this work is really notable. It shows the two sides of Faustus' character that are naturally in contrast with one another. We find through this work a great energy and life that Cristopher Marlowe puts mainly in this work, but also in the others. And the use of colors in his description are really a remarkable, important characteristic. He, as we said, improved the dramatic possibilities of this new genre, the dramatic drama, and gave new life to the theatre. And so, as we said, gave a new life to this important, fundamental characteristic of the English line that goes under the name of the blank verse that will have a radiant, important future, mainly with William Shakespeare.